My work is about reproductive toxicology, and I'm really passionate about understanding what chemicals in the environment and pharmaceutical can do to the reproductive system. And what we have really started to understand is that there's many chemicals in the environment, mostly man-made chemicals, that actually are exerting adverse effect on the male reproductive system starting in the womb. So the fetus is exposed through the mother to a number of chemicals in our environment. Not only that, but there is also medications that are affecting the functioning of that fetal testis. And if the fetal testis does not develop normally, the male will not develop normally. So you will end up with men at 30-year-old wondering why they cannot have children or why they are hypogonadal with lower testosterone. So my goal is to find the reason of these disorders. We conduct research in my lab, and we have already identified chemicals in the environment. One is a plasticizer, for the D-ethyl phthalate plasticizer, which we are all contaminated with. The other chemical we are really concerned is an estrogen, it's a dietary estrogen, genistein. The other chemical I'm passionate about is medications, and I'm focusing in my lab on acetaminophen and NSAID, ibuprofen mainly. We try to understand what would be the consequence if the fetus or the little boy are exposed to excessive doses basically of Tylenol or Motrin, which are acetaminophen and ibuprofen. So that's what we are trying to do, basically understand all the mechanism related to the toxicology of the reproductive system from medication or from environmental chemical or dietary chemical. What attracted me to this area when I decided to choose my own path of research, after finishing my studying and postdoc training, was that there was a big black box for the neonatal germ cell development. Nobody knew what regulates the proliferation and differentiation. And again, these neonatal cells are the precursor of a stem cell of a germline. I was drawn by the curiosity and the challenge of understanding what regulates these cells. I've always been interested in mechanistic studies and signalings, and these are wonderful cells. That was a field with so many questions, and we still have not answered many of the questions. We understand a bit more, but there's still so much more that we don't understand. My area actually has a big potential of influencing how people behave to protect the reproductive system of the sons, the future sons.